What's up, Army? Welcome back to Redemption 46 Studios. I'm Nick.
I'm Keith.
I'm Curtis.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jarek.
You know the vibes, just seen the picture, y'all seen the thumbnail. BTS Blue and Gray.
We're back from Vegas, guys.
Dog, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. A lot of content here. Also join the Patreon for exclusive drip with Rise. The runs are on there, live performances, and some exclusive vlogs from Vegas. But today's episode, we actually gonna get into a little bit of the conversation about Vegas, so we can tell y'all what our BTS experience was and everything. But first, let's jump into Blue Gray. We'll talk about it a little bit, and then we'll each talk about Vegas. Not give them too much drip, but we'll talk about it a little bit. So other than that, we can jump right in, bro. Blue Gray was performed too there.
That's what I was, that was my spiel.
Oh,
Don't ruin it.
Where's my answer? 하루의 그 창들
I'm right here.
Someone call me, save me please. 지친 하루의 한숨뿐 사람들은 다 행복한가 봐. Can you look at me cause I'm blue gray. 거울에 비친 눈물에 믿는 웃음에 감춰진 내 색깔 blue gray. 어디서부터 잘못되는지 잘 모르겠어. 난 어디서부터 머릿속에 파란색 물음표 어쩜 그랬어. 치열하게 살았는지 모르지. 부하들을 돌아보니 여기 우두커니 손이 나를 집어삼켜버리는 저 습한 그림. 저절이 더 파란색 물음표는 과연 불안인지 우린지 어쩜 정말 후회 동물인지 아니면 외로움이나 나인지 여전히 모르겠어. 소스팟 blue 잠시 되지 않길 바래 자주 가요. I just wanna be happier. 차가운 날 녹여줘. 수없이 내민 나의 손 색깔 없는 메아리. All this ground feels so heavy. I'm singing by myself. I just wanna be happier. 가득한 욕심일까. 추운 겨울 거리를 걸을 때 느낀 빨라진 심장의 호흡 소리 지금도 느끼곤 해. 괜찮다고 하지마.
Miklo! With your powers combined, I am Captain Planet.
널 보면 회색 지대가 편해. 여기 수억 가지 표정의 글 비오는 내 세상 이 도시로 춤춘다. 나에게 나를 안개는 나를 함께 저기 모든 먼지들 속배를 I just wanna be happy. 이 손에 어깨 느껴줘. 따뜻하지 않아서 네가 더 필요해. Oh, this groove feels
beautiful live too.
Now I'm mad I didn't know it before the concert to appreciate it.
Yeah, it was one of the joints I knew was gonna be on the like the list that we all didn't react to. That I wanted to like sneak in before we left, but we were so busy. But yeah, this was beautiful. I think what I love about this, besides the fact they were able like to blend all like particular voices together. I love the V and the Jimin blend, but actually my favorite might be the Jin and JK.
Jungkook. Oh man,
it's just like they all complement each other so well. Where it's just like, I guess other groups sometimes they have like 4 or 5 different vocalists, and sometimes they drown each other out or the harmony isn't right. They've just mastered the art of just kind of being able to blend voices and knowing when to you go low a little bit, I'll go higher a little bit, and match each other's energy and do stuff like that. But this is just another example of how to do like a beautiful B-side. Just one of these songs where you kind of can just sit down, be chilling, vibing out, and just, show off. Not particularly one of my favorite B-sides from them, if I'm being completely honest, but it is one of the genres where it's just like you can't deny the talent that you're listening to on here. So even if you don't vibe with the lyrics or what's going on, it's definitely a song where some shit is happening. But that's my spill. I'll jump into a little bit more after y'all get y'all clip off.
My name.
J-Ho.
J-Ho.
Man, if you know, you know. So please go subscribe to the Patreon and find out what we're talking about. But I love that when they let that beat ride, that was just like a whole vibe right there. And then I think V came back in. Mm-hmm. And just was like, yeah, I'm gonna just finish this off and let my vocals run. I like this joint. It was a good song.
He definitely came back for the double tip.
Yeah.
Church.
It's a beautiful joint. I do remember listening to this in the concert because I was sitting down just enjoying the atmosphere. I was under the influence, of course, and everything just felt.
Oh, don't give him too much.
I was gonna say,
give him too much.
Patreon for that, all that.
Everything was just so beautiful being there. And I remember the song. Yeah, this is a B-side, so like it's not something that you typically get excited for. At least I don't. But like you said, Nick, you just gotta appreciate the talent when it's there. Even more, especially when you hear it live, it's a little bit different because I never heard this song before the concert. But I feel like if I had heard it before, I wouldn't have been into it. Hearing them do those vocals live just makes you appreciate it a little bit more. It just makes you wanna stay focused, not pass out or nothing, and just enjoy the moment.
Find out more on the next episode.
One of us might be missing. Or at least bruised.
Shout out to my cousin Sal.
Shout out to Sal from Jersey, the homie. Yeah, man. Like I said, I wish I had heard this prior to, so I could appreciate it more in the concert. Because not knowing what to expect, you not knowing what parts coming and everything like that. Mm-hmm. I'll be ready for the next concert though. Yeah, man. Just this opening up and closing with Tay. You already know I'm going to love it. But the blue and gray, obviously, those are pretty. Blue is sadness and gray is pretty bleak. The song is melancholy.
I like those colors.
Yeah, it's pretty bleak colors, and usually have to deal with like depression or just melancholy topics and everything like that.
Blue shade colors.
You see it opening up with V asking where is his angel at the end of the day, asking to be saved and everything like that. So you kind of know where they're going. And this isn't like this. I ain't gonna say this is par for the course with BTS at this point, but big hit title is Music for Healing. A lot of their stuff is going to be like this. This is one of the better ones I like, one of the better songs like this that I do like and everything like that. I kind of have this up there with Life Goes On. which is probably my favorite BTS healing song or whatever like that, or sad song if you want to put it like that. Hearing that and seeing that performed in the concert really got me.
Dynamite for me.
Oh yeah,
It's
that
a
shit's
song,
on.
I
Yeah.
guess.
But nah, seeing that perform really was a big moment for me. I love the verses as well. Of course, J-Hope had my favorite. RM, I love where he goes with his metaphors. Like, speaking in Hangul or English, his metaphors always are. I'm not gonna lie, it's up there with some artists that we revere, you know, lyrically and everything like that. For some of the stuff that he writes and puts together and everything like that. He's a very good rapper, you know, regardless of genre or style, language, everything like that. But to get to my favorite part of anything with BTS, them damn vocals. Like you said, we love the V-Man moment and everything like that, and it sounded great too. I actually want to hear more of it too. I think we kind of got that with Life Goes On, if I'm not mistaken.
I love the Jim in the undertone too.
Yeah.
How like subtle and soft he was able kind of like just to approach the
He
track.
has like such a feathery voice. I love when they like layer his voice on top of one of the other members because it just really kind of sets off. So, and you know, more we go along with BTS, the more we start to see their harmonies and everything like that, the way they'll sound and how they're put together, it's amazing. But that Jungkook, whew, because they're right there with each other, kind of. Whereas like Jimin is the top for the lightest voice and everything. V got that Barack husky voice, baritone. So Jin and JK can kind of just really, you know, do the fusion dance vocally and make magic. So, you know, yeah, bro, I like this. It's a good download. Gasa.
Yeah, it's definitely another one of those like vocal exercises. They got so many joints in the tuck that are just kind of like vocal exercises, and it's crazy because we've listened to things today where we literally just talked about groups not being able to kind of vocally showcase like their talents and stuff like that. They probably just was flexing on here just a little bit and shit, probably tossing the mics around and shit, just doing them. But go off, Keith.
Just tossing the mics around.
So you got it?
Yeah, you take your time.
You take your time.
Sing something.
No, I thought the song
Jim
Oh,
and
uh,
Breathe.
was really good. It gives definitely a very contemplative sort of vibe. You could throw it on and like think about, you know what I mean, maybe a hard time you had or the time you were depressed or whatever. It kind of puts you back in that headspace. I like the production of it, especially toward the end where it's almost like, I don't know what instrument that is, but it almost sounds like feedback coming across the screen. They used it, I know they used the sound a lot in It, Chapter 1 and 2, whenever they would refer back to the kids' memories. It would be that high-pitched sound in there. Now, I thought the verses were good. I thought the vocals were good, as has been touched on already. Like what Zach said, I love the way the beat kind of rolled out at the end. They gave it a little bit of moment to breathe. Yeah, I definitely didn't recognize this when they played it at the concert, but it's definitely a track that had my interest. Mainly because I knew Black Swan was coming up next. But yeah, go ahead, Kurt.
Yeah, this was really melancholy, and you know, like I always love when they touch on like more of the depressive kind of subject matter, just because I feel like it's like a window into the soul kind of thing, like so to speak. So I just always love like the deeper, you know, passion that goes into the verses and the metaphors and everything like that. I just feel like that's like just a type of music I'm much more engaged with. But they have such a balance, you know, between, you know, tracks like this and then upbeat, you know, uplifting kind of songs. So, you know, they just, like, their discography gives you a taste of everything almost. And this was definitely a standout vocal track for sure. I mean, but I also love the storytelling kind of within the vocals though, like the somberness of V's voice and kind of that part that you're trying to like almost like regretfully like kind of hold back, but then that's paired with Jimin's like, you know, really high voice. So it kind of felt like the part you're portraying versus the part that's inside of you sort of thing. But then they also pair that, as you had said, with Jin and JK. But that was during the parts of not wanting to be alone kind of. And it felt like, you know, their vocals matched as though it was like, you know, being there with someone and kind of feeling those those same feelings. So I think there was a lot behind the actual intention behind the vocals of who was paired with who and how they were harmonizing. So I thought all those things like were definitely the standout. And I will say I do wish I appreciated more of the lyricism when we heard it in concert, because the vocals stood out for sure. I didn't know what the track was or anything like that, but definitely hearing it and the power of the vocals live definitely gives me like a much better reflection on everything that was going on with the concert. And as far as the subject matter, the lyrics, I love everything that was going on in Suge's verse, because if you notice, he's someone who can kill you kind of with cadence and his flow and everything, his rap aggression and everything, but he really scaled it back and was just sort of somber talking. Like it almost just felt like more of a conversation kind of rap verse as opposed to like, him like really attacking the beat. But I thought that was good in the sense of, what the subject matter of the song is and just kind of that dark place that you're in. Almost at like a crossroads, like he says, like the blue question mark that's like always around me, the shadow that's always like kind of swallowing me. And I don't know if that's necessarily in reference to his track Shadow. It's probably before it, I would assume. Like I'm not exactly sure where this was in there, but I just, if nothing else, that was like, a nice little added detail. And then, the whole idea of, it's like a ferocious kind of loneliness that's talked about, and he says like, am I like a different animal, or is it just kind of born out of loneliness? So I think it's kind of a nice little bit of an oxymoron kind of with like the animalistic side of ferocity, but then also the loneliness. Like I feel like they kind of oppose each other a lot. And then when you get to J-Hope and RM, which by the way I think this is the first time I heard them split a verse, like that pairing, so that was definitely unique for me. And it was sad a little bit in J-Hope's verse, because we know him as like the bringer of like light almost, like in the group, like the one who's always positive and everything. And he describes like the unfamiliar feeling of everything that's going on, which is kind of, it makes it more sad when like people who are happy are like more sad, I guess. And then when it gets to a little bit of lyrics within his verse, he more so kind of talks about like, is it just me, or is it something I'm kind of getting used to too much? Like, am I so used to it that it almost doesn't feel unfamiliar anymore? So I think that in and of itself is like really deep, as far as like the emotions conveyed within that. And then RM like basically, kind of took us home, as you would say, with like, a lot of the metaphors and lyricism and everything. But I also really loved his flow and cadence as well that he was bringing to the track. And as you had said, V kind of bookending it, like starting and ending it, because he talks about in the beginning, like, where's my angel and everything, where's like this light at the end of this dark tunnel, so to speak. But then at the end, it's kind of bittersweet in the sense that he's up all night to where he's seeing the light of the new day, but he's still in a dark place. So he kind of just says like good night and ends it, which I think is both a sweet thing as far as like the possibility of a new tomorrow, but then also kind of somber in the sense that you're kind of left with the same conflict from the beginning. But overall, it was just really layered, really complex. I love everything with the vocals, and this is again, another really, really strong B-side.
Anybody else got anything to add on top of that?
After that,
I really hope it was all that, Yeah, I talked to Kurt before about how movies sometimes do something and that shit, people people over like exaggerate, or people overthink what that shit is. Mm-hmm. They'll just be like, yo, the placement in here is because you walk this path of life. And then when the director just be like, nah, we just put the camera there and shit. Like,
that was just a nice location.
It was a random location. It was the only joke.
I will say though, video location and shooting for movies, because you're also trying to convey something visually within it. So I understand that there can be happy accidents like within those kind of things. But when it's lyrically just pen to paper and like in the booth, I feel like there's more intention behind what you're actually trying to portray.
That shit funny. What is just like, nah, actually it just rhymes. So like, I just thought it would be cool.
It should be like RM woke up one day, it was just like,
you talk about RM reading like the Socrates and just, talk about coincidence. Like, come on.
One day he pick up Clifford the Big Red Dog and write a song. One day RM just pick up Arthur and supposed to be like, I'm gonna write a song.
That should be funny. Like, it's not just Clifford he's talking about. Red, like it conveys anger and other things. So RM is actually angry.
Like the dog is big and he's red, so whoa, the big dog.
Yeah, because they never had a dog in the fight, so that's why.
He's red because of the hellfire.
You see what I deal with, people.
And he's like, yo, it's in the BT, it's in the BU, it's in the BU.
It's connected.
If you was watching the videos, you would have saw it was in the VU. But no, I do. Like I said, I really do like this song. It's more of, like I said, more of a chill one. So I probably won't listen to it like every day, but definitely, rainy day, just kicking back.
Let's talk about what y'all want to talk about, man. Y'all want us to talk about.
Could I add one thing with RM?
Oh, go off, bro.
I also love at the end how he talks about like the fog and everything with the rain and everything. How rain like is always like a metaphor for like sadness, crying. Like there's always like sad connotations with it, but it's also like that regrowth and everything that we talk about in nature. So it's always like a subject matter that's always kind of brought up within those sort of themes. But I like that he kind of said even in the midst of the rain, like with the fog and everything, that the dust still stays. So it's like the rain, the cleansing, the therapeutic side of it is still like you're still getting that kind of scarring of it. But his metaphor is with dust. So I think that's like a really unique kind of way. I haven't heard it put before. But yeah, that's just more of the in-depth kind of lyrical substance that you get with them.
Cool. So let's jump into the concert talk. Y'all can let us know because I don't want to spill too much sauce from the concert. Patreon, I have some exclusive vlogs on there. We are going to show YouTube love and have some content on here. And if y'all want us to do a more in-depth conversation about the concert, we probably would do that. But I think now is a good time to kind of give an overview of some things. I'll start off. The concert to me was one of the most amazing moments of my life. Besides the fact, just outside of the concert, I was able to go with all the gentlemen here, and we just had the time of our life in Vegas. Just us being around that vibe and that atmosphere was extremely fun. Army, y'all special, man. It's just a certain aura and a certain vibe in that concert that I probably never felt in my entire life. Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all go off a little bit more, and then I'll talk because I don't want to spill like everything. But just what was y'all overall experience like there?
Just keeping it contained with the concert.
Yeah,
It was just
contained
a
with the
regular
concert.
Thursday for me. Concert was on Friday and Saturday. That's how you can tell I was lit. I have no idea what days were what, but every single time I stepped in that stadium, you can just feel an energy of everybody just ready to appreciate some good, hard-working performers. And, that's one of my favorite things about live performances is that you feed off the energy. So even before they came on stage, Army was ready. You could feel them getting ready for that first moment of when they stepped on stage, which was awesome. My favorite part, which you could see, I captured a lot of footage of it, would be them Army bombs, bro, and how crazy Army would get, and like how perfectly synchronized the Army bombs were with like how they were jumping and how the whole place felt like one, like.
That shit was a light show, low key.
Yeah, it was.
That shit was like the 4th of July.
It was beautiful, man. That was probably one of my favorite parts. Yes, we were all yelling when they asked where the gentleman at.
Oh yeah, they kept asking for that. They like was y'all yelling and shit.
Of course, I was yelling because it was just. By the time they asked that question, they had like played some bangers, but you knew there was some more coming. So that was really dope. It was just so excited in there. I don't want to say too much. Just.
For me, I can definitely say like the Army's energy is 1000% contagious. Like you have no choice but to enjoy your time. Like you can just be like, you can have tickets to the concert and say like, oh, I'm having a bad day, something came up. But once you like get in that atmosphere, it's like, oh, okay, I can enjoy myself. I can let loose. But I can honestly say I think I finally came to like a bias of who's my favorite BTS member after the concert.
I'm not.
You the last one?
Yeah,
I think the last one.
Yeah, I think so.
Bro?
Hope.
Yeah. That,
I felt like I turned you to the.
that energy was like that, man. The way they like enjoyed their engagement with the crowd was like, you guys are the concert, not just us being on the stage. You guys are the concert with the bombs and interacting, dancing, the cameras. The production was amazing also. Like, that's all I'll leave it to.
You wanna know how I knew the concert was real, yo? Like, so I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all that watch this joint probably be like, "Oh, Zach is quiet," or "da da da." You got something called your haters this weekend. So it was I forget what point of the concert we was at and shit, and sometimes you jig on here, but he legit was in the concert and shit, like next to me on some like. On some, rock and shit, and I just was like, "Yo, he's supposed to be recording this shit." That shit was
nigga party.
The footage probably shaking and shit. So I just was like, "I don't know." I was like, "This shit real," and it's wild because you ain't never said anything about a bias. I don't think we've ever even asked Zach about a bias.
No, we did.
Shit.
He's just like, nah.
I didn't have one at first, but just after the concert, definitely
Hope
J-Hope.
was wrecking me.
Yeah, he's like, you picked the right time.
He had the crowd eating out of his hand, yo.
Yeah, he stole that drum.
Oh no, let's not get too much of
Nah, like I said, this is my first 2 major concerts since I went back-to-back nights and everything like that. Just walking into that stadium, like you said, is just amazing. I remember more of Saturday than Friday. I was a little too lit on Friday.
Join the vlogs, you'll find out why.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Way too lit.
Get on the Patreon, you'll find out.
But even on Friday, though, just the atmosphere of being inside of there and feeling everything. Mommy. All y'all just gonna have to line that shit up. But
It smells like chicken. All right, I'm good.
If you know, you know.
Join the Patreon for exclusive vlogs.
anyway, like I was saying, just trying to give up my experience at wonderful Pantansonia concert.
Oh no, that's bullshit. Hold on.
But sorry, Teach. Damn.
Y'all can say shit about like me breaking it down, and then that's what like.
What?
More exclusive vlogs.
Did Kurt and Lowe get into an altercation?
at the concert.
It was one-sided. Anyway, we say that for the Patreon.
Chicken won.
Hey, yo.
Not the subunit.
Still my brother.
J-Lo.
But anyway, like I was saying, the first night, I don't remember too much, but the beginning parts that I do remember, it was fucking amazing. Kind of like a sensory overload to me, too. The last thing I remember was V saying, the gentleman in the house. Like, and then everything just went black for Friday. Saturday, though, I was up for everything. And I was next to Hyung. So, that shit was hilarious anytime we two together. And we had some amazing fucking seats. Shout out to Sherry Arena for them seats. That shit was amazing. I feel like we walked through a penthouse shit to get to the job. But, so we were just lit in there, man. And just the energy of Army, like you said. I met a fellow taste stand. We took a picture. Some more taste stands out there. Just hugged and, took pictures and stuff like that. Just seeing the diversity of Army too, just walking around was something crazy. We had people looking at us like, "You're here? Like, you guys are here?" Not because we're reactors, but just because of our appearance and how we look and everything like that. For all the stigma that you get with boy bands or K groups and everything like that. Not just some black guys. Some dashing, swagged out black guys and Kurt. So.
Literally was telling them had a random Army girl hug me just like, oh my god, men are supporting BTS.
Yeah,
like, we love to see it. Like
that
so
shit was
just
crazy. Fucking Jarek, bro, had his hair all blowing in the wind and shit, looking all majestic and shit. I was like, yo, who the boss? It's like, yo, who the boss? It was just really so much fun, and I can't wait to see them again. Now it's mandatory that I go see them again. I definitely want to go to a muster because unfortunately they cut Blood, Sweat, and Tears short.
What is a mustard?
Muster. It's a big concert they do where they do a lot of their B-sides and stuff like that. A lot of songs that you usually won't get in something like this. Muster Sawuzu. We've watched some videos from Musters. But yeah,
That's a weird
like
name for an event.
like the one they said, the synchronization of the army bombs and everything like that, that shit is amazing because not once did you see like one unconnected or whatever like that, or disconnected and not in sync or whatever. Like
I think we can agree.
They said they said that's how you.
Yo,
They said
that
that's how
shit
you
was-
catch the fake ones. They said.
Hey, I guess so.
They
Because
said that's
everybody's
how you
shit
catch
was
the fake
lit
ones.
and in order. That shit was like, I love you, BTS. I'm like,
I just want
yo.
to say, if you have a fake army bomb, don't be ashamed. You were still out there trying to represent. Okay.
They said sometimes people don't be knowing, like they might get them from a second party or something like that.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't be ashamed.
You got
You
an
tried.
army bomb, it's cool. You still love my thumb.
Yeah. Mine's on official. I still got the box.
Yeah,
man.
I on the fish. Like,
Yeah, let's get a couple more jokes.
You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of synchronization too, yo, that was crazy watching them like dance live and everything.
Some of the songs I didn't like before and everything like that, seeing it like Fire and Go Go. Well, like I said, a lot of people said they was remixes and different versions, so that's probably why too. Because we said it with the was it Go Go with that different drum.
Yeah, go at the different drum pattern,
Okay,
and
yeah,
then when
and
Fire came on and all this other.
But just the
all other stuff.
performance and that damn Tae Young man.
Yeah, we.
I'm not even gonna say
yeah,
nothing. Yeah,
save
we
some
just-
juice because I got
yeah.
questions, specific questions, and then you know what I mean. We'll be good. Keith?
I thought the concert was good. It was definitely an experience. Maybe it's me, but I felt like the concert was too short. I feel like once it got kicked off and things were going, like once they started the set, it seemed like as soon as they started it, it was already over, especially if they was playing bangers that you enjoyed. No better way to kick off a concert than on. I don't think there's a better song that they could have played to kind of get the crowd hype and to like start it off with the pyro going off and then the flames coming up. Definitely a track to open a concert with. The atmosphere was crazy. There was no bad seats in the Allegiant Stadium because of the way they built it. They built it vertically, not out. It was just a fire environment. Army was crazy. Before the show even went off, they're playing like videos on the big screen, and I got people screaming in my ear to the point they're fucking ringing, and like nobody's at the stage yet. One side of the stadium screamed, so guess what? The other side is going to scream because they screamed. It's wild, but it was a cool atmosphere. Definitely appreciated the light show aspect of it. The army bombs and the lighting on stage, like they would shoot lasers out into the crowd, especially when the smoke was kind of heavy. They had the fog machines rolling. Their interaction when they got in the go-karts, well, not the go-karts, but like the elevator push carts, and basically got pushed around the stadium, around the outside track, and kind of got close to the fans that way. Utilization of the main stage and the performance stage going back and forth was dope. Black Swan was definitely a highlight. I will agree, Hope was definitely playing up to the crowd, incredibly crazy. And right behind him was V, which, you know, was crazy too. I kind of expected maybe a little bit more from Jimin to play up, but he was kind of tame and played the back a little bit. Even though Jin couldn't perform in a dance capacity, he was definitely there and made his presence felt vocally. He definitely killed it. Well, again, I always say this is probably one of the better voices that I've heard. Just so strong and piercing. You know, everybody did their thing. I was kind of hoping for an encore. I'm used to shows having an encore, so
We heard. It's like he's still sitting down. He won't leave.
but there's I mean, because every concert I've ever been to has always had at least one encore.
In fairness, I felt like they told niggas the concert was over and played 7 more songs. Or is it just me tripping?
No, I thought he said the last song and they just stretched the hell out of the last song.
I felt like he was like, yeah, we're about to Gary leave in a second, y'all. And then it felt like tracks were still playing and shit.
But yeah, all in all, it was definitely a good joint. I mean, even the let out wasn't too bad, wasn't too crazy. But it was all in all, it was a good experience.
What where you at?
Remember, I went to the outside and I was going. Like, y'all got
yeah,
stuck
he
in the
did
traffic
sneak by.
jam.
Man, that fucking let out was fucking crazy, dog. That fucking mile walk.
Yeah, but I mean, it's no, like I said before, it's no different than going to the fireworks on 4th of July. I mean, it's not a new experience. It's just a lot of people.
You might have more people than Philly in that bitch site. Nah.
Got more people than the state of Kansas.
State of Kansas. What the fuck did that?
No, it was
Or is that a city?
It's a state too.
it was probably like one of the greatest days of my life, if I'm being completely honest. Like it was the atmosphere. It was like everything was perfect, even around and leading up to the concert. That when the concert, the concert was like, as we always hear about, how incredible the concerts are, as a separation, whether it's their vocals or just the way they engage with Army, the atmosphere. Like I felt like I had expectations, but I kind of lowered them just to fully appreciate every moment. What I really couldn't have ever accounted for was Army, like in particular, being there. Because, we know the talent of the group we all have, like people that resonate more so with us, whether there are biases or records or anything like that, or whether we're OT7 or whatever. We've seen a lot of the journeys with the Rise of Bangtangs and everything. We've seen the Run episodes, so we're all invested in the group. But Army was something I was a little more like reserved about, but more so just because, like, I didn't know what to expect as far as like I'm very self-conscious. Like I'm not a concert goer. I'm not someone who's like particularly good at dancing or anything like that. I never felt judged once. Like I felt like I was like dancing and didn't have to look around to see if like people were like focusing on you or anything like that. It was just
permission to dance.
Ironically, yeah. But it was so it was just so welcoming, and all the Army bombs and the visual, like just aesthetic of everything, the colors changing, everything being synchronized. It was amazing, and especially seeing that new stadium and everything, like the architecture behind it, and just like it really was amazing. But then those are just kind of like pre-concert things and just like the jitters of everything, I guess. When they were playing their other songs, like Butter, Dynamite, Permission to Dance, like before the concert, just as a way to kind of get everyone hyped up before. One thing I didn't expect or hear about at all was Army cheers between every single song of every single person's individual part in the song. That blew me away. Like every time they cheered, I'm like, did they come out on stage? Like I'm like looking over, I'd like if I missed something. It was like, no, it's now this person's part in the song, and everyone was cheering. And it never felt like, ironically, it never felt like the cheers were more in favor of some artists over others, like how you would think with a bias, like, oh, like everyone felt like they had the same, like, equal kind of cheer. And mind you, that also blows me away because this is just a very specific part of Army that happened to be in Vegas. But there is, Army all around the world, and I feel like that's consistent everywhere they go, which just kind of made everything more of a humble experience, I guess, overall. And then within the actual concert itself, again, hearing all the vocals live, and as Keith had said, they started it with On. I said pre-concert. On was the track that if I heard, because that was a turning point in my journey personally. So when JK hit that note in On, like, it just stuck with me so incredibly, and he is my vocal bias for sure. So I didn't know what to expect hearing it live, and they just started the concert with On. So I had no idea, like I just felt like I wasn't ready for that, and I had to hold back tears because it was like, because it wasn't just him hitting the note, but he like stretched the note too, like he did more than like what was on the track. So it was just, everything was just above and beyond, and it was like a complete, shock for me. And then having to process everything. But seeing everything with J-Hope and how eccentric he was and everything on stage was definitely incredible. But I also really love that at the end they had a really nice moment, and this ties back to what we were saying earlier, was they had this moment where it was, you know, J-Hope basically was kind of tributing everything that Jin had been through, you know, the past, you know, few weeks and being unable to dance and everything like that. And the choreography was really like complex as well within the concert and everything that they had to do like back to back. So I love that they had those moments where they were like talking to everyone kind of in between sets and just allowing themselves to breathe and get their energy and everything like that, but also still resonating personally with everyone. But what he said at the end, you know, with Jin was basically like, you know, you really showed out, like everyone gave him a round of applause and everything. That was definitely a moment I had to hold back tears. But then when Jin actually was basically like, I was kind of a letdown to my brothers and everything. I was a letdown to you guys, basically because I wasn't able to be out there in full capacity. That took me back to the JK moment in the Rise episode where they feel such guilt. And, you know, we had talked about pre-concert, like wanting them to kind of be able to chill and relax a little bit and not overdo everything. So kind of seeing that moment of how he was reflecting on it kind of made it resonate a lot harder. But yeah, no, it was an experience of a lifetime. And just one last special thank you, April, on our Discord and on our Patreon for giving us those 2 extra tickets and allowing us to experience everything with you. It was incredible. And, you know, it's something I'll never forget.
Yeah, so I got a couple questions just to ask y'all. That way we can give a little bit of our experience, but not drop too much, so that way people can enjoy the vlogs and everything too. The first question is, what was your favorite performance from the concert overall? Like, what performance kind of wowed you the most?
Black Swan.
Black Swan.
Waiting
For you upon me.
That shit's crazy.
That's crazy.
And
Fire
butter.
Those were all
is
my
a close
top three.
second. Fire is the close second. for me.
No,
Butter
I'm
as a
changing.
close
Fire was
second
my
for
number
me.
one.
That shit was
Fire
crazy,
is-
dog.
Fire was different.
Fire is
That
my number
energy,
2.
that
No,
Yeah.
the second day, you know what kind of caught me off guard was Idol.
That's what you said during the concert.
Yeah, Idol, when they played that, like, I like Idol a lot, but their energy was different. I swear the whole, like, you can't stop me loving ma. I felt that shit. I felt like nobody could stop me.
I will say
from
this
loving
though.
myself.
Nobody should. I will say this though. When DNA came on, that was the hypest I got all night personally outside of Anpan Man, because you know I was waiting for my part and shit like that. And you know they did the whole song. They let V get his part off and everything like that. And then how can it go? We did that shit at the same time. I couldn't even record that part because I was just so into the song. But definitely, overall, it was Anpan Man just for that's my shit or that's our shit. We gonna get hype. That's like a R46 get hype song.
Yeah, hype
to be
song.
honest. And then Fire and then DNA.
Any disappointing tracks?
Well, could I say real quick?
Go ahead.
Not for disappointing or anything like that, but On definitely caught me off guard because it was the first song and it was something I was anticipating so much. So that like held me like emotionally and really set the tone for everything. Black Swan was just so emotional and beautiful and sweet, and the choreography and everything that they had done with the the wings and everything, and like, I mean, that was just incredible, and that definitely like wowed me the most. Energy wise, it was definitely Anpan Man though. As far as like I was shocked to hear it. I know they had played it the first weekend. I didn't necessarily know if they were going to do it the second, but yeah, that blew me away, and me and Jarek were pretty lit to that one. So
I think if they would have did
That was
that,
awesome.
say the second night, I would have been.
and also Fake Love,
It was
just
the
a
first
shout
one,
out to
too.
Fake Love, definitely.
The only problem
That
I
was
had with
incredible.
Fake Love was that Blood, Sweat, and Tears got cut. It felt like 4.
And I don't
Fake
think it
Love.
got
And it's
cut
not like
for
and it's
Fake
not like a
Love.
problem with it, but it's just
No, we like Blood, Sweat, and
Tears.
Tears better. But I love Fake Love too. I love V and Cookie's part on Fake Love. But we know why it got cut, because that choreography, like they said, even though it was way too.
But it just was other songs where they had lit choreography that they didn't do, and I didn't have a problem with the choreography not being there. Y'all could have did Blood, Sweat, and Tears sitting on
Just
fucking
sing it.
chairs.
an acoustic version.
Yeah, like an acoustic version. I really wouldn't have cared. It's just really for those two songs, for even Fake Love, because that was only I think half of Fake Love too, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, I think I felt like that was half
Yeah.
of Fake Love. For those two songs to be the songs they got chopped, but y'all played other particular B-sides to, other stuff. Not the bad songs, but it's just like me personally, fuck that. I want to hear
Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
These
is
Blood,
amazing.
Sweat, and Tears.
Blood, Sweat,
That's a
and
top
Tears,
5 song to
Backstage,
me.
I'm pumping.
Ever.
You know,
Hear that
as far
shit.
as performance and dancing, so I get it. Most of it was supposed to be dancing songs and everything uplifting, but then, like I said, it got messed up. You know, with the injury to Jen and them just kind of being they're probably tired of shit. Like you said, they got a new album coming soon. You know what I'm saying?
It was
So-
also just that everything was back to back to back as far as like the complexity of On and then something, you know, like if you're looking at, you know, Black Swan or Fake Love or anything, like it was just like I felt like it was a lot of different things in a particular row. That I mean, I understand why they cut it, and I definitely understand wanting, you know, to have those tracks have their full shine and everything like that, but I mean, it was still something that just blew me away.
You asked for disappointments about the concert.
Hey, my fault. I completely cut off that question.
Yeah.
My outside of the Blood, Sweat, and Tears thing, my disappointments are I Need You and Run didn't get played. Well, more specifically, I Need You because I think Run is kind of like not a B-side, but you know.
We went into that knowing we weren't kind of getting that though.
Run, yes. I Need You, I didn't know that. I like fully expected to hear.
They kind of made it clear that it was mostly all songs off the B album and then just major title tracks. Not saying that I Need You or
I
Run
Need You, they
isn't.
first win. I thought that would be like a every time we go out. We never.
I just didn't think that we were getting that. I just
I
thought
saw it on the list previously. That's what I'm saying.
in Soul.
Yeah. So that's another reason why I was expecting it.
Yeah, and about the it being like feeling fast, I think it really just was a situation where since you was rocking out with so many songs, time was moving fast just because of that. It's like imagine if like 10 bangers come on and you hype, you might be like, oh shit, an hour went past. So it wasn't outside. I think Blood, Sweat, and Tears probably was the only kind of like downer moment. I wouldn't call it disappointing, but just a moment where you like, damn, I wish they did the full track.
Especially because we. And then,
Because in fairness, me personally, I don't think some of the stuff had anything to do with dancing. Because I feel like with the concert, they did a wonderful job with the blending of chilling and then getting into the choreo at the tail end of tracks. So it mostly just be like, yo, we have a time for a breather so you can chill. Then when it's time to do the choreo, we can like go ham. And they picked and choose what choreo they wanted to like snap for versus other choreo where it's kind of just like a walkthrough. Mind you, I love them to death. I ain't want them to like kill themselves or anything like that. But but it's just certain choreos I definitely wanted to get, see the full gist of it. But y'all, anything disappointing for y'all, kind?
No, nothing was disappointing to me. It was a very fun time. I enjoyed it all. Let me think. Was there anything that was disappointing?
That was the only thing. You was the first person that mentioned the time. I think you literally was you literally was the first person that was like, was that quick?
Yeah, that did feel very, very quick. Like a very quick concert. I expected it to be longer. It was great, but I don't know. It did feel kind of pretty short. But they're also out there like dancing crazy. You feel me? Doing a lot of movements. Actually singing and rapping. You know what I'm saying? It's not no lip syncing or nothing going on. That's all real physical work. That could take a lot. So it's kind of like, you can go to like a rapper's concert and they'll be technically longer because the rapper isn't the one that's doing all of the dancing and a lot of the other stuff. Sometimes it is, but when you're the person that's doing the singing, the dancing, and the rapping, and just also being the performer and crowd controlling, that's a lot, so it's like you can't really complain about the time because that's the cost of it. You know what I'm saying? They're working their ass off, and it shows. You can see it when they're out there, excited. Even after like the first set is done, they're like laying down, like sweating, but they're still engaging with the crowd, which is pretty dope. Everything was pretty engaging. I think the only disappointing thing is, it was short, but What can you do, you know?
Yeah, for some reason I thought we was gonna be walking out of there by midnight. I don't know why. Like that was like in my mind.
It was like 10:30. I'm like, yo, give me another hour or two.
But they had a great setup. Like I ain't never seen like a concert be able to kind of like do the I guess she was calling them VCRs or whatever. Like the kind of the inner I can't get this word out and shit.
Intros.
Not intros and shit, but just the joints in between shit.
Interludes.
Yeah, like the interludes and shit, like in between all the different sets and shit like that. For them, whatever those tracks was on them VCR joints with them beats and everything and the way they was shot,
Yeah.
I hope we getting into some shit like that because
According
someone.
to Sal, we're not getting
Yeah, I know.
rain on a parade.
Yeah, when she was talking about the parades, yeah, but that shit was decent. But,
Let us dream a little.
yeah, is that,
The only disappointing thing for me, I may sound like a hater per se, but I don't know, for some reason I'm not a fan of concerts playing the same song multiple times, where they could have played like a different song.
oh, you had
at
an
that
issue with
one
them
moment.
playing Dynamite Butter and Permission to
No,
Dance and
just
doing it
permission
again?
to dance like 3 or 4 times the day we were there, and it was like you guys could have played a different banger at this one part.
It's like with the
But
concert.
then, that's what I'm saying. It's cool. That's why I'm going to sound like a hater because it's the name of the
How
concert.
dare you?
But it was.
Apparently, we never hearing it again. So
But that was probably the only thing is how many times they played Permission to Dance where they could have played another song at that point.
especially because we didn't get them perform.
Yeah.
Yeah, the truth is that song is actually very hypnotic, so they played it so that you would dance during the whole time. The more you know, open your fifth eye.
Man, they was grooving to that shit in there though. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give him that. Keith, did you go yet?
So as far as disappointment, I guess I gotta kind of agree with you guys as far as Blood, Sweat, and Tears only getting one verse, and not fully getting the love that it deserves. Not even the RM verse, we didn't even get that. So, that's
Shit,
kind
I
of
think they jumped straight to
a letdown. So I can't complain. But to be fair, the Army Bombs for that part was dope as shit though. But that'll be the only disappointment, and that's really nitpicky. But go ahead.
The only disappointment I had, and it had nothing to do with them or the concert or anything like that, was just I would have loved to have been with all of you guys together as opposed to like split up a little bit. But it's more so just because I know how much this means to all of you as well, and I just would have loved to share that as much together as possible. But no, not disappointed in the least about it necessarily, but it's just something that if I could have changed one thing.
So you don't want to sit next to me next time, that's what you're saying. All right.
Check out the videos, man. We was vibing.
The next question I had for y'all really was
I love you, Jared.
at the end of everything they had posted the We Are Bulletproof and showed the June 10th, 2022, John, basically indicating that a new comeback is coming and an album is coming.
I left by that point. I did not know they had after credit scenes.
I'm an MCU guy. I wait and kind of see what goes on.
I ain't have shit else to do. I'm lying as long as
What type time do y'all think this comeback is going to be on? What type time do y'all want this comeback to be on? What are y'all thoughts?
Man, if I'm going off anything Kim Namjoon said, he's pretty. I think he's locking in.
He wants some hip hop shit. Is what it sounds like.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is like not a. I don't want to say a diss track, but some stop fucking playing with us type energy.
I
on this
love a
album
diss track.
or a song on there. I feel like it could be like that kind of thing. Is We Are Bulletproof again? So
I hope
that's just kind of a heavy statement.
It made it feel like they're going back to their roots.
Yeah, that's
Joe
exactly what it
Budden.
sounds. They said it's the end of an era. I ain't want to say his name, but yeah. Amongst other people, he's far from the only one. They got a lot of haters.
Hope we get a Cypher 5 from the rip. Like that shit.
Definitely.
I hope y'all let V in the cipher too.
He been asking for. Yeah.
So, and if you know it's cool, V, just get a solo song.
What they did with OT7 Cypher with everyone rapping.
I don't know if I'd be that crazy.
Shit.
No, I want it, but I don't want people to get 4 lines either.
Oh Oh well, I don't think they would do that. I think if they're gonna do a cipher,
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying if all 7 were, like,
Ciphers are a little more
legitimate-
lenient with it. Let them go.
I make that shit a 5-minute track.
Exactly. I just don't know if it'd be like that. But if they all got like full
That
16
Tony
off or something,
Montana.
Nah, give them each a minute, 7-minute track.
How do y'all feel? What y'all think the new album's gonna be about to come back?
I don't have a clue, to be honest. I don't have a damn clue. It really could be anything. And even if they go back to hip hop, it might not sound like the old hip hop. There might be something completely different. So I don't. They're kind of like Kanye West, man. You don't know what the next album is gonna sound like until you hear the next album. And maybe like after we hear a title track, we can kind of get a beat on how the rest of the album might sound. But even in that, you don't know, because like you hear some things off Map of Soul, and none of those things, well, they connect from a concept standpoint, but from a sound standpoint, they're completely different. So I mean, who knows? I'd be excited for whatever, because I mean, it's not like their production is ever lacking, or there's no heart or thought put into their albums or their music. So I mean, whatever we get, I'm pretty sure we'll be happy with the offering.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think regardless of what they give us, we're going to be happy and we're going to appreciate everything, because nothing they really do sounds like it's quite the same, which I always love, you know, just as far as artist versatility and everything like that. If I had any expectations, I'm definitely, like, they definitely have been teasing the whole, you know, We Are Bulletproof thing, the rap line centric things. They talked about wanting to get more into the rap line. You mentioned V wanting to be in the next cipher and everything like that. I also think there's a unique opportunity, I guess, because if I had to guess, like, I feel like they'd be centric to more rap stuff, but I don't feel like it'd be necessarily like boss talk kind of rap either. I feel like it'd still be reflective. It'd still be, you know, like more kind of deeper layered than those things. But the only reason I'm saying that is also because there's, you know, in the coming, you know, months or years or whatever, at least as of, you know, right now, the information we know, they're going to be going off to military or, you know, whatever that situation is. So I don't necessarily know, like, where they would want to leave this project. You know what I mean?
I think
Like,
with me, the difference, and I think why I shook my head initially when you said that is because Boss Talk, I'm thinking you're saying like Rick Ross or something like that. That's initially what I think. But
No.
I think they're definitely gonna pop some shit with this album. One thing that kind of tips that
Flex,
off to
flex
me,
that shit, man, flex.
I feel like this is gonna be their Veni Vidi Vici.
I don't think so.
Hey, that's the good.
Not
thing
about the
it.
Veni Vidi Vici thing. Not about that. About that they're gonna talk their shit or anything like that on this. If it is on, you know, rap type time. But the only reason, again, I'm saying that is because I just feel like for all the hate that they've had, everything that's been going on, they've been addressing things. Now, granted, all this stuff that's been recent, the album was already in the finishing processes as far as the writing and everything like that. Like, they already had likely recorded everything, and they're probably just finishing up everything in post-production now with everything. But all that to say, I just feel like coming out of the COVID era of tracks and everything, the Permission to Dance, the Dynamite, the Butter.
That shit dead though, Kurt.
No, but I'm saying as far as uplifting everyone and the messages that they were going for, I don't know that they'll deviate too strongly from the more
this is what-
positive.
You can't have a bulletproof joint or say we are bulletproof and then give me a song about
Uplifting.
not like uplifting, because I
Maybe
agree
this
with
is
you.
goodbye.
I agree with you, but it's just like, I think if I would have never seen the whole "We Are Bulletproof" type thing
I
and them
expect
going
gritty.
back to them roads, then I probably would agree with you, because I think it
The
is a
No
hard
More
segue.
Dreams vibes.
Yeah,
And the reason
The
the
angst.
reason I'm really thinking it's going to be different is because the title is "We Are Bulletproof" as opposed to the previous 7 or 8 projects have all had titles.
love yourself,
Yeah,
like, you
connected
know
to
what I
something
mean,
of
like
wings,
most beautiful moment in
You know what I'm
life.
saying? Everything from that point all the way up until
Map of Soul.
Map of Soul and B have had a title that was connected to something else or had a different kind of title as opposed to the first 2 albums. What was it? We Are Bulletproof.
Now we could just be Kurt. That could have been like a fucking like a bait, not a bait and switch, but just the whole just like we are
Throwing you
bulletproof, and then the title come out and it'd be like know your worth or something. You like
I don't think they would do that. I don't think they would do that.
You know what I mean?
My thing is, I don't think BTS or anyone like that is trolling. You know, it doesn't. No offense, and I mean like this in the nicest way. They're not going to marvel the situation. They're not going to Like, it doesn't feel like they're gonna cop this out for some kind of joke or something like that. I feel like they're really committed. I definitely know that they're all based strongly in rap. It's what, you know, going back to your roots, there's nothing wrong with that. I just feel like it's gonna be same beast, different animal type thing. Like, I feel like it's gonna be rap. I just don't necessarily know that it's gonna be quite that.
Because people, the whole RM, people just like, oh, I think he's leaving everything. I just, especially after the concert and the whole, yo, we're together, y'all gonna see us again more, and then that whole last part. Now it feel like it's, now I'm more on like the type time you on where it just feel like they gonna pop their shit. Like, and like you said, I don't think maybe
Like,
us
they
saying
been
that
taking
means it's
it
gonna
lightly
be
on people.
Yeah,
like
and I don't think it's gonna be so much like you said, like of a flexing, like, oh, I get more bread than you on doing. I think they'll subtly take jabs and do stuff, and
But I don't know, just in reference to everything that's been said recently, as far as like the, you know, don't focus on the negativity, don't give it any attention, just positive, embrace everything. Like, I just don't know. I feel like that'd be a tricky line to kind of walk.
Well, he could be
but-
saying that to Army, but not
Yeah, I was-
necessarily,
yeah.
you know, doing that himself because you know Army.
do as I say, but not as I do.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
but who
well,
are they
not
making
just that.
music for? That's the point.
Well, here's the thing: Army is fanatics, and fanatical people do stupid shit.
No, granted, they're
way to
going.
address stuff
They're
compared to how
going
he
to be
would
more
address it.
rap centric. That's something I strongly feel that.
So
they're
what I was
bringing
going to say is both you guys can be right.
back. I know.
So they can talk their shit and they can have an album that's uplifting.
I just more so
I mean,
think
if
it's
you
gonna
look
be
at
less
the
on
if you
that
look
type
at the
time than,
playlist
you know.
what was it, Map of Soul? You got shit like Shadow, but you also got shit like Black Swan, My Time On,
Ego.
Ego. You know what I mean? So you know they're giving you a full album, and in full albums you tell a full story. It's not just half of it.
Exactly.
So you can have everything that you need to get your point across in all facets. Whether it be to uplift or whether it be just to talk your shit, you can do 2 or 3 songs about that. I mean, shit, Mic Drop was a talk your shit song, right?
I think I agree with you, Keith. I think something that I got from the concert, because as far as We Are Bulletproof, that's who they used to be, right? And we know that they're accustomed to changing it up every now and then. I don't think they're gonna deviate from their formula too much, but I think they'll go back to their roots in a sense where they're already established, right? We already know how successful they are. But in the Western side of the world, they're not as mainstream as they are internationally. You can pull up all the numbers you want. I could walk to any subway station in any major city, and most people will not know who BTS is unless you be like, you know that K-pop group? They'll know it from there, right? I think they're at a point now where they're more focused on this market because they've already dominated everywhere else. It's cool to dominate everywhere else, right? But you want to have full control of all the music markets.
So real quick, not to cut you off, do you think this album is going to be more English?
I think so, yeah.
I think you need, not
Yeah.
need, I think it seems like they'd be on par to do like another
Even
joint.
at the concert, they took relative turns, giving everyone a little snippet of like. an
Yeah, they
English
were all
thing
like
to
talking
say
more
to the
English and
audience.
stuff. I think they're gonna focus more on English music, right? It could be the only reason I don't see it being a lot of love yourself, healing type music is because yes, that's great for Army, but does that necessarily sell here? And I don't know, maybe they don't want to sell here and that's not what they're going for.
Ain't that what the whole
But
B album was about? Just, you know, like fighting through the pandemic, loving yourself and everything, all like that too.
You
So,
would think they don't want it's a dead horse kind of.
yeah, it's kind of like why keep doing it?
because it seems
So-
like they'll talk about kind of depression on, you know what I mean, one album, loving yourself on another album, fighting like demons on like another album. They don't seem to beat the same.
They don't
like
seem
dead
stagnant
horse
in their themes.
In the
But
themes.
that's the thing that I was pointing out when I mentioned the military aspect of it. They're all, you know, kind of preparing for that turning chapter. So I feel like it's just going to be
Maybe.
a different kind of,
I'm like maybe
Yeah,
because they keep doing the whole like, what if they don't have to?
Well, I
let's-
said preparing for. That's why I said preparing for, as opposed to, you know.
Don't-
I think this could be their black album. Is what I'm thinking when I say, and that's exactly what I thought of and why I said Vinny Vetti Vici, because that's kind of what Hov was on the black album. Like, look, man, I saw a concert.
I thought you were talking about Ja Rule.
Oh no, not that album. Not that
That was a
wasn't
good
actually wasn't a
album.
bad album.
I
Yeah,
know.
that wasn't a bad album. But he just kind of, on What More Can I Say and Encore, how he was talking is what I mean. Like, I feel like that's kind of the point they're at in themselves, not comparing them to Hov or anything.
And that album too was still a good blend of talking your shit.
I was
and
going to say,
being-
it was
Oh, go off, I'm
Allure,
sorry.
all of that stuff like
That
that.
was the joint with Neil on it, right? No, that was Kingdom Come. Never
Yeah,
mind.
that was the Return album. Hopefully they don't do nothing like that. But love you,
Album was that bad.
it's just that's what I see them on now. Just the way, like I said, the mannerisms and just how they've been carrying everything, and just looking at this point in their careers and what they have to prove or what as artistry is one thing to drop projects to feed fans, but your music kind of has to grow and expand and everything like that. And sometimes you just got to take a sharp turn and be like, look, we got this going on, we got this and that. We've done a lot of healing music and everything like that. What's a rapper? How many of y'all favorite rappers don't pop shit or don't talk heavy at some point? Like, look, man, I did this, I did all this. I don't care what no one's got to say about it. Even though they did Idol and songs like that, I think this next project will be a little bit more in your face rather than.
I've never heard no one.
Yeah,
I've never
just
heard-
in your face, kind of like
I've never heard no one say let's bring it back to some rap shit, and then it don't be some rap shit. You know what I mean? Like
It's the summertime. It gotta be.
it's dropping in Gemini season
I think that's what it really comes down to too. Is that like I said,
might
they
have
were
some,
making an emphasis on it being back to the roots of rap
Some
shit and
Khaled
everything
shit
else.
on there.
Arm was hungry. I feel
It
like
just seemed like I don't know. Those joints just seem like RM got a lot of shit to say, and I don't think it's. I don't want to say I don't think it's positive, but even when niggas address like certain situations, he be on there like, huh, Army, chill out. We got y'all on the next joint almost.
No, but there's a lot of things that's what's happening. So you got the Corbin thing, which was kind of squashed. You got the Joe Budden thing that's been happening recently, but it ain't gonna take him nothing but a couple hours to get in the booth and write some shit about that, if they so choose to. You got some
album
of
seems
the
like
other
it's already
things.
complete though.
Yeah,
almost.
but you can always change stuff. I mean, like it takes no time, bro.
Albums can go down to the last minute.
Right.
Yeah,
A
but
lot of
they
albums
drop
are
the
never
date. It just seems like it's like in the finishing. Like they know.
Well, you
what
could drop
the
a
core
date,
of
but
what they're
the
trying to
date
do.
is what, 2 months away. You
Well,
can drop. You can
They
do an
know the
album in
core
2
of what they're
months.
trying to do. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because
So-
I think the date probably is just for the comeback, and then the album might be a month later or something.
That's
but
fair.
I get what you're saying though. You're saying why would you already have a title track to be one way and then be like, oh fuck it, like let's diss everybody now, and the album not even on
Well,
that
I'm
type
saying
time.
how strongly they've committed to themes within various albums and everything. I just don't think that that's something they would change necessarily within an album. Granted, singles and things of that nature, sure, but
Yeah, because with album shit, I've heard shit where people be like that. The album got finished yesterday.
Yeah.
Like it got that close to production.
Pablo wasn't done.
But here's the thing. So you say that, but what
Look at
when you
Change the
hear
Song,
"We
I
Are
was mad as
Bulletproof,"
shit.
what
The
is the
original
album
Wolves was my
concept you're
shit.
thinking?
Then you had to
Because
see it.
bulletproof to me means we're impervious to shots. We impervious to whatever you're trying to throw at us. We're going to protect anything that's under us or that we're over, like our fans, our family, things like that. We're protecting them because we are bulletproof. Like so, I don't. What concept do you think that we're going to get out of this that you probably wouldn't get any rap shit?
well, there's a hard line to walk of going back to your roots, but also deviating and growing and changing things up because it's kind of like it's a tough line to walk if you're trying to go back to your roots.
But
you're also
they've
trying
been
to grow
doing
and
that
change.
though. So like the lyrics to were like, yo, I don't care how angry you are. Anger is good. Anger is great. But point that shit somewhere else.
Here's my thing though. Mind you, what Suge said. Suge said he can't rap angry anymore.
You can rap aggressive without
just don't-
necessarily
I don't
rapping
wanna see
angry,
them- I
and
don't
your
wanna see them
content
heal
doesn't
wounds.
necessarily have to be angry either in order to get your point across.
I get that, but I'm saying I don't want to see them heal wounds and then rip open old wounds and talk about it from that progressive. But mind you, as you said, they've taken over the American market. If something is so successful from a business standpoint, how much would you truly deviate that?
I think you also can appease both people.
I don't think they've taken over the market.
No,
I think
they haven't.
they've infiltrated, and kind of made their presence
Did a
known.
good job.
Yeah, I don't think they've taken
More
over
so,
the market. Though.
they're here and they're not going anywhere.
But how much can you lean into that? So we heard Treasure try to do an all English song, right?
All the take a Beyonce and Rihanna drop.
I was gonna say
but see,
it's
but
too much.
given
going on here.
their formula, that's not something that they've necessarily done. They haven't necessarily relied on somebody else's steam to push their engine.
No, he said
You know
not
what I
a
mean?
feature. He said them
yeah,
dropping
no,
an album or
I
a
think he
song
was
and
trying to say
everything.
kind of not to be funny, but to review what Kurt was saying was they're here to stay. Somebody could be like, "Oh, y'all dropping on June," whether it's Hove, Beyonce, Rihanna, or somebody dropped the same day,
Gaga.
and you know,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to be funny, but you know,
This isn't
this
us
isn't us
shitting on them.
shitting on
Obviously,
them.
we went there to see them, and we love
Music is a
BTS.
competition.
I hate that I got to put that up.
Unfortunate,
Yeah, business is always going to be like this in the American market. To say they've taken over when
I don't think they've done enough yet.
yeah,
No, I don't think they've done enough
even
either.
when his last Drake album.
Can
was
I just
bad
add
as
one
it
point
is.
though, real
Go ahead,
quick?
What's up?
Hybe literally was, you know, the Scooter Braun purchase
Yeah.
thing and everything like that. Like they didn't do that for no reason. You know what I mean? They have a very strong hold now in the American music industry. I just feel like that's something that's going to be more so explored rather than deviated from.
See, but even with that though, it's the language, right? That's not a hold. That's a stake. Yes, they had some of the names that they have on Scooter Braun's labels. Yeah, that's a stake that they have.
It more so gives insight into a direction they could go. Possibly, I guess.
A hold
It's
would
more
have
so
to
what I'm
be
saying.
them getting like, say,
They need some Bieber features on that.
If
joint.
Hyde bought like Universal or some shit, then I'd be like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Something that'll be scary or whatever like that. But I think BTS has a great American fan base.
Yeah.
Like I said, the taking over the market thing,
wanna see 'em with
I just
Migos.
think they're
Okay, take that with a grain of salt.
Okay, then
take
yeah,
that with a
then
grain of
then
salt.
Yeah,
Because I think the whole.
Because my thing is, if that's the word choice, that's not the essence of what I'm trying to say.
No, I get what you mean. It is the whole a hold and the like taking over albums. I'm not gonna say come and go, but you almost got to be on some. I guess that's why we hold like Rihanna, Drake, Hove, Beyonce, and them in a particular light because they've been doing this shit. They've been not no funny shit. They've been doing this shit before BTS even debuted. You know what I mean? And have been holding the American market into #1 solos, platinum joints, sold out venues, basically doing everything that BTS is doing. But I get what you're trying to say. Your whole thing wasn't
I think
really
at
just
minimum to kind of really shake shit up over here. BTS would have to dominate it like from the beginning of a year to the end, or like you know what I'm saying. Like
I'm not even going to say it's fully the music. Do you realize that everyone that y'all said has done something outside of music as well, which has uplifted their songs? Like Beyonce, Lemonade, dropping the whole clothes. Rihanna, Fenty, Drake doing the sneakers. Jay-Z, Rock Nation. Everyone has another lane on this side besides music that gets people into their music as well.
Not to mention their
got
lifestyle,
late
night
shit that they
shows.
do. Jay-Z buying art is a whole thing now.
So
Yeah.
not
Part
to like
owner of,
downplay BTS, but what
of
can they do over
Brooklyn,
here
the
to
Nets and
bring
shit like
more? Instead of like commercials, like do they have a venue over here that they can jump into?
See, that
venture?
was the thing I was going to
And
get you
BTS.
to, because it's kind of like, okay, cool. You
Besides
can
Tonight Show.
try to take
Yeah.
over the market, but you're only going to take over as much as people are receptive to you. So we talked about this all the time, like the Making of Bands, the Danity Kanes, the Day 26s. The reason why they sold as much as they did, whether it be a little or a lot, is because people felt like they knew them. We've seen Ho for what, 30 years? We know this guy. We've seen Beyonce for almost 30 years. We feel like we know her. Same thing with Rihanna and everybody else. We feel like we know them, but BTS, we know that they're a wave. We know that they're a conglomerate and they're coming. But what do we know about them? Not us per se, but the American market. And at some point, if they don't try to make that connection to know them, it's going to feel like they're being forced down their throat. And at what point does the American market rebel?
We already getting this shit pretty much.
So how do you organically get as a label?
You would pretty
right,
much
how do
have
you
to.
get people to organically
You would pretty
like
much
you
have
just
to
gotta continue to run your
refilm like the Run BTS, or refilm or reintroduce those type of shows to
over
people
here?
over here to make them people, or
Which could be
make
done.
them, but make people feel like, oh, okay, I'm invested with this guy. I know his story. I know how he
personally
feels. I know
wouldn't
how
even
he
like a
thinks.
reality
You know what,
TV
though?
show for them.
I personally
over here
wouldn't do
with-
that.
You know what the problem is with that and why that can't happen? Jen about to be 30. RM and Sugar right behind, following up. These dudes all 24 plus. When you was 24 years old, you wanted to do the same shit you did like 8 years ago. Whenever
That's what I'm
you
saying,
were over to
reality show,
reintegrate.
a
You
reality
had
show,
you at the
yeah.
point where you want to live your life and kind of do things and just be out. Not to mention the
BTS
military
in
thing,
America.
if they have to do that. So you're absolutely right. That would kind of be something that would endear them.
I just don't want them to repackage something that they
yeah,
did already.
I think. Just,
Well, then they would
just
have
be
to like change the
themselves.
flavor of it, but
They
that's
would have to
that would
ingratiate
still
themselves
be,
here to kind of do that.
you know what I mean? That would still be a way to do
The
it.
Jersey Shore.
Oh,
Please,
God,
God, no. We
no.
want them to live.
Let's be real, yo. Why? I don't know, yo. Just why would they even have to do like even Drake and Rihanna? None of them niggas had to fucking have a variety show to get people to kind of go what was
Well,
going
people
on.
felt
That's
like
why
they
they
knew
don't
Drake.
really
You just
say-
make
People
bangers.
felt like they knew
people
Drake
are-
from acting, so they were a little more receptive to hearing him, even though it was like, oh, this nigga.
Yeah, but I mean, I still know some niggas who are
Rihanna
hardcore
changed
Drake
her
fans.
formula.
I know hardcore Drake fans who still haven't watched Degrassi or anything else. I think the real thing with BTS is just keep making fire ass tracks.
I
If you
agree
just
with
keep
you,
making
man.
fire ass tracks.
Hold up, fuck the American market. I think
Yeah, what you're doing right now is perfectly
You
fine.
can come here and sell out a whole stadium. You got niggas traveling from all over the country, people from all over the world coming to see you. Fuck, whatever you're trying to. I don't know what your goal. I can't tell you not to have a goal or say fuck the goal, but I think what you're doing. I think what they're doing now is great.
They want to be Michael Jackson level, like random people in Africa even know you.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
Michael Jackson, God rest his soul. I love Mike. Mike killed himself trying to hold up to his standards and everything like that. Just not dealing with the shit he had going on internally and all that stuff like that. We'll never get another Michael. We'll never get another Prince or Whitney. Some of these people, you got to look at the other side of the coin with them. BTS has already went through a whole bunch of shit just being them and having a happy brand and image and a healing brand and image like that. I don't want them to forsake all their hard work that they've done to try and not for no Grammy or no Billboard award or any other American accolade or anything like that. I'm gonna be honest, the American market at large is never going to respect BTS, just being honest. Because you have, America is so fucking diverse. A lot of rappers here don't get respect everywhere. How many times you heard Hov do a concert in North Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, you know what I'm saying, Oregon, or, Oregon is legalized drugs, so there might be a party there soon. But, how many times do you hear rappers talk about them places? How many times do you hear rappers come out of those places? Mm-hmm. These are all states with millions of people still. You know what I'm saying? Other markets. How popular do you think BTS is in Houston? In Texas. You know what I'm saying? Louisiana, Georgia, all of this stuff like that.
I feel like everywhere they go, they'd still sell out.
I'd
but
feel
that
like
would
they-
be
yeah.
also with people traveling in.
I was about to say, that's
I was
based
about to say,
on
I
Army,
think
not
Because
the-
they had
based
tons
on-
of Mexican population in the stadium at any given time. You had to think some of them came from Texas or came up through Texas.
Mexicans only live in Texas.
Well, no.
I'm just fucking with you.
No, but I mean, unless they,
also is Las Vegas.
you know,
I mean,
it is
Mexico and New
right
Mexico
there,
is
right there.
California too. But my whole thing is they're never gonna. What people are thinking or trying to put, I don't think it's even necessary for them to do. I think they're in a great space right now. You could come to the biggest market in the world and sell out here, sell out football stadiums. There's a lot of rappers that can't sell out
can't do
football
that.
stadiums on multiple shows like that, you know what I'm saying, and everything. And just not even rappers, just popular artists, period, that they have to go through a lot to do that. I feel like BTS probably has the strongest fan base I've seen as far as consistently doing things. They come together, organizing, doing stuff. Compared to the other fan bases and everything, BTS is probably the only fan base outside like Bill's Mafia or some shit that I heard of raising money and donating a lot of money and doing stuff. So you have a great, unique space in the history of music. No one can deny you. Is everyone going to know you? No. Everyone doesn't know every Michael Jackson song. I bet
Everyone knows who he is, though.
everyone knows who
Don't
he
say the
is,
impact
but
that
they
he
don't know
has.
they don't know every song, or a lot of people don't know outside of like the singles and shit like that.
I
A lot
think
of
they.
people don't know Prince.
I think they won anyway. Like anytime your last 3 singles were #1 charted, you like you said, literally we flew across the country to see them.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean. So
Y'all
it's
literally-
But
y'all not
sometimes
even
as an
consider
artist, though,
K-pop anymore.
But you gotta-
you know what I'm saying? Like,
you got to look at it from the perspective of an artist, right? If you tell yourself that, all right, I'm already great, I've already dominated these markets. I've
I'm not
already
telling-
broken
I'm- yeah,
history.
I'm
You know
not,
what I'm saying?
I'm not telling them
No,
to
yeah.
do that. I just don't want no one to sell their soul for something that.
I don't
that's
think
not
it's
important.
necessarily selling their soul. I just think they need to find, like, when you're
If
so
I'm
great,
saying that he want to go back to his roots, and what I'm gauging from that, permission to dance is not something that's the core essence of what the group is. It sounds like you kind of like selling your soul.
nah,
a little bit.
I think they're just trying to find something that motivates them to make other types of music. Because, like you said, they're so great. They've already done so much, dominated so much market.
what's
They
next?
need to find something that'll motivate them.
I think they
click them.
always gonna do that. I think they have the Jordan syndrome.
What it is?
They need to drop a shock value type album.
I think they have the Jordan syndrome anyway. The whole like and that's why
Bro, like I said,
was put-
they've run laps around every other artist in their country's history. Like I said, they popping over there, east, west, north, south.
That's why I kind of wanted to play the devil's advocate real quick. Like, what else can you do after that? I'm not going to say it's going to be played out, but that positive thing is what's next after that positive market is played out. Because at some point, it will be played out. And
And not just
people
the
will get tired of
positivity,
hearing it.
just the super lighthearted part of it.
and to double down on that, like it's the American market, regardless of if the intent is pure, some things get perceived as like gimmicky. So it'll just be like, yo, man, these dudes, not me. Somebody be like, these dudes been on some positive shit for a year and a half now. I can see
Or
how
not
people.
even that. Yo, people who don't, the casuals or people who just hear it.
Right.
Man, all I hear is some super upbeat electronic overproduced shit. You like,
They don't got
oh, bro,
nothing
like,
else.
nah, they got, man, I ain't trying to hear that. It's like, damn, bro.
Or you
like,
get it down to the basics, like what the fuck they know about, you know what I mean? Like, it's easy to be positive when you millionaires and you selling out. Like,
Yeah,
what
the people
fuck
that
y'all
don't know the story
right,
and stuff.
Right,
That was one
That was one of Joe's biggest gripes. And like I said, when I was
saying, he didn't even know, he don't even know them. He hasn't done the research and everything. But
I can imagine
there would be a
100
similar thing though if they
perception.
I
if
can
they went
imagine
straight rap.
I can imagine
I
100
think
people
there would be a similar thing if they went straight rap. Different reasons, but yeah.
like in English or in the Korean.
Like if the album was hypothetically straight rap or anything like that,
No,
or more on that
I
type
don't
time.
think the album is
I
going
don't
to be
think
straight
they
rap.
could ever go back to that.
Yeah,
No, I don't think it will be
the
either.
tone of it is going to be different. is
I
what
definitely
was
think it's going to be more on that kind of type time, but just in general, as far as people perceiving them a certain way, they would either, like they've heard it all before. I don't necessarily know that that's a can of worms they want to necessarily open again or anything like that. But I understand what you're saying. I don't think they're going to be perceived as gimmicky or anything like that in what they do because, again, you're going to have Army, you're going to have their support, you're going to have people trying to educate people, just on more of the group that aren't as inclined to that information. But ultimately what it comes down to is just at the end of the day, whatever they give us is going to be something that's worth it. You know what I mean?
For all we know,
They're not gonna
I know
lack
about the rap- I
in
know
any
about the
facet.
wrap up and everything like that,
We can table this a little bit, and then when we get into the live, continue this conversation if you want to. Shit, okay.
Fair enough.
Oh, my last part. Well, I figured we was going to get
Okay, yeah.
my last part about it was just this could very well be an album where, well, depending on how many tracks they put on it, but we could probably get another full album where all 7 get solo songs. What you want to do? What kind of song you want to make, Jim? All right. What kind of song you want, Suge? J-Hope, this your single song. Jimin, what kind of song y'all want to do? This, whatever you want to do, however you feel, this is what we going into. Because I feel like the last few projects have all been small EPs, if I'm not mistaken, right? Besides, like, the
Map of Soul was a full.
Map of Soul was full.
album?
Yeah.
Okay.
But B was
B was like
him
7
because
songs?
I want to say 10, but I don't think there was.
I mean, shit, that's a full album now. Kanye only putting out 7 tracks on the joint.
We shouldn't let him be the barometer. I love that nigga.
But the one thing I will say real quick, while you guys are looking up, I don't think the rap thing will be an issue, like the genuineness or the gimmickiness will be an issue to a majority because it's not like they haven't done this before. It's not like you don't have,
I'm talking
catalog
about
to
in the
look
sense
back
of like a
into.
new market, new people looking at you.
I mean, well, yeah, but it's on them to do their due diligence as well, right?
It's an EP.
29 minutes.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
it's an
saying. So that's that
29 minutes worth of content.
that whole kind of thing right there. I
what?
feel like they're going to give more and probably let some, more expensive. We supposed to get Jimin's OST.
Yep.
V's supposed to drop some music. this year or whatever like that. So
Pretty sure Jen got some shit to say if he was leaving.
RM mixtape and everything. Another Hope mixtape. Apparently Hope World 2 coming.
Hope World 2.
So all of this stuff happening and everything like that. Like I said, I don't think the album's gonna be like, yo, fuck everybody.
That's what I mean. I don't think it's gonna be on that type time neither.
That wasn't what I was saying.
I think it's gonna be more on the lines of,
nigga, we here.
yeah, a more personal, but like we feel it. Veni Vidi Vici. Like I said, we came, we saw, we conquered.
When Thor came in Infinity War.
God tier when he came in Wakanda. Ironically.
No, I know what you're talking about. I was like a more Marvel inclined person. MCU inclined person.
Yeah. But Kurt, where you go? Yeah,
Wrong pronoun.
One thing I was going to say was basically at the end of the day, whatever they give us is going to be great. We're going to, I mean, they never lack in their production. They never lack in their effort, their commitment to everything. I mean, this is all just, fun speculation on our part. But ultimately, like, we're just here and we're excited, for whatever is to come.
They could drop anything. That joint probably go crazy.
Shout out to YouTube. Y'all just got an hour and 26 minute video.
Congratulations. Now subscribe to the Patreon.
Y'all better go watch our old videos.
Because it's 4 o'clock in the morning right now.
Zach, you good?
I'm good.
You good?
I got to go to work in 3 hours. I ain't good.
Man, like, comment, subscribe, #Redeemers. Let us know how y'all feel about everything we discussed. It'll be more vlog stuff coming on YouTube. The more exclusive stuff will be on Patreon. Also, join the Patreon. We'll have more exclusive, in-depth talks about the concert and other little things. So y'all know the vibes, man. We love y'all guys to death. Holla at your army.
Peace.